Hello everyone, it's Leo, and today I want to talk about something that goes a little off from what I usually talk about here on the channel, which is Beastars. I usually talk about magical girls, most specifically Purikyoha, but I watched the first Beastars episode this week and I was so impressed with it. I really liked the story and the setting, and I feel like there's so much to discuss, there's so much to talk about that I really want to give my 2 cents on what I felt while I was watching it and all the philosophical things that go around this show, at least judging from the first episode. So obviously this video is going to be full of spoilers of what happened in the first episode, but I'm not a manga reader. Like, I don't read the Beastars manga. The way I phrased it kind of sounded like I don't read manga at all. No, I love manga, but yes, I'm just saying that I'm not reading the Beastars manga, so I don't know much about it apart from what I saw in the first episode. So if you are a manga reader, please don't give me any spoilers. Don't spoil anything for me or for anyone who's watching the show in weekly in the anime. Don't give us hints. Let's just enjoy what's to come, the unknown world of Beastars. So I think that the first thing that really called my attention when the promotional images and videos started coming out was the visuals. I think that Beastars, like the first impression we have while seeing it is how impactful it is visually. Because we're not talking about humans, we're talking about anthropomorphized animals. So like animals that look like humans. So we have like visually at least it strikes something in us. And I'm not talking about like furries that like those kind of things, because I do think that those people will enjoy Beastars a lot. But not only that, for people that don't really understand this world of furries like I do, I don't really understand much of it. I feel like this is a very nice, representation, and especially after watching the first episode, I think it ties a lot with some of the themes the show wants to tackle. So visually, Beastars is impressive, and not only the design of the characters is impressive, but the art direction and the whole direction of the episode was very impressive. Like artistically, it was amazing. The music, come on, the soundtrack was so impressive, and the whole usage of CG, it felt very natural and beautiful. It doesn't feel like some CG shows that everything feels very stiff. Like, it does not flow perfectly, but it does feel very nice. The episode just opened with a very impactful assassination scene, and I feel like that just gave one of the premises of the show, which is the fact that in this world there are animals that are carnivores and there are animals that are herbivores. So, like, when I was watching it, I questioned to myself a lot how they're able to maintain this society that apparently at least lives in harmony. The two types of animals live in harmony, but the herbivores, they, like, at least from this first episode, they're not safe. They're not completely safe because the carnivores can attack them to eat them. And that's what happened right at the start. And one of the things that really impressed me in this first scene was how they hid the identity of the killer. We don't know who the killer is. And we weren't able to see the killer, but the way they hid the killer from us was very, very smart. And that's one of the things I was praising when I was talking about the art direction. It was really impressive. And then we get on to meet some of the characters, and our main character is called Legoshi. I think that's how it's pronounced. And Legoshi is a wolf-like creature who looks very scary, but he seems very kind and kinda shy. I'm not sure shy is the right word to describe him, but I feel like he doesn't look very sociable. He has very bad sociable skills, and that makes him look like a threat to lots of other animals because his species is a carnivore. And then another character that seems to be like both main characters is Haru. Haru is a rabbit-like creature, and she is another type of character that seems to be a stereotype, and she's not. She looks like a very kind person, and she even said once in the episode that male creatures approach her thinking that she's going to be the princess type that likes to be protected, that needs the other person to everything that she's gonna do. And then when they discover that she's not like that, they're very disappointed. But one thing this episode did not make clear is which type of person Haru is. We don't know that yet. But we know that Haru is someone who's bullied at school. She's an outcast because of the bully she suffers. And it seems that her bully is a group of women, a group of female creatures. I don't know how they're supposed to be called. They harass her, and then they maculate her image to every other person. And I feel like both of those things hurt her image, like to the group as a whole. So no one wants to be seen with her. And I think that her character is one of the most interesting things about this show so far, because she has like a lot of stereotypes, and then like breaking a stereotype and how that can impact you. When people expect something from you and you're not like that, how can that impact your life, and how can that impact the relationships you have? That, I think that that's going to be a big thing in her character. We've already seen that impacting her life. And I think that the way she deals with it was the thing that felt the most off to me in a way. Like she doesn't seem, at least from what we've seen of her so far, she doesn't seem to suffer a lot because of that. She seems very resilient in what she goes through. I don't know if that's going to be a good or a bad thing for the character, but we'll see in the future. And so, there are those two characters that seem to be the main ones, and we follow both of them. And there's another character who is, I forgot his name, but he is like the most popular guy. He's a deer, and he's the most popular guy. The girls love him, and he is part of the theater club at school. And he seems to be that popular guy who's adored by the girls and is very mean. So he uses his stereotype and his popularity and his power at school to be able to control other people and to be able to be mean to other people as well. At least that's what it seems. And he also seems very threatening in his personality. Honestly, I suck at biology, so I don't really know if he's going to be a carnivore or a herbivore. And I think there is some kind of talk about that. And with Legoshi, I think he talks about that with Legoshi. And I think that him and Legoshi's relationship is going to be a big thing. And, you can't tell me there wasn't a little bit of queerbait in their scene. Because, him holding Legoshi by his tie like that, shipping alert. Like, I'm not shipping them, but it's probable that lots of people are, just because of that scene. So I guess that this story is going to evolve into so many other aspects, and this first episode was a very good starter for that. What I want to see is the relationship between carnivores and herbivores and how it works in society. There was one scene in the ending scene of the episode in which Haru was running away. She noticed there was a predator, and she tried to escape. She knew she wasn't going to be able to escape from the predator, but she tried to escape anyway. And when she did, she said something like, "That's my place in society. I can't run from it." So I really want to understand how those two types of creatures can coexist at least in apparent harmony, because they seem to be in harmony in a way. And how didn't the carnivores subjudge the herbivores, or did they? Like, the big parts of society, are they filled by carnivores? Because they at least from a biology perspective, they're superior. and not superior, but they can control the other creatures, but because of their powers, because of their instincts, because of what they're able to do. And so, do they control the society as well, or don't they? Because like that is something that is done up until today, because we have some certain groups of society that control the rights, that control the money and the citizenship of people, and those people, like, in a way they rule society, like in a contract that we didn't even sign, and it's not verbally done, or it's not written, it's just understood by most people. There are people that don't believe or agree with this idea, I know that, but that's how I see it. And I wonder if the show is going to tackle minorities and minority rights and minorities' right to exist, because we, like, talking about me and the LGBT community as a whole, we've been fighting to exist for such a long time. And I feel like some specific letters, like the transgender, the transsexuals, I think that they're trying even more. They're like even more of a minority inside the LGBT group as a whole. And so, like, they've been trying to fight, they've been trying to find their place in society. And most times, people up there won't let them have their place in society. So I feel like, is the show going to try to tackle those issues or not? I'm very curious to learn that. And so I feel like Beastars can be a very impactful show, and can be a very interesting one, especially with the animal thing. And one thing I didn't talk about Legoshi is the fact that Legoshi seems to be a carnivore, but at least he seems to try to avoid that part of him to shine through. He does not want, like, he doesn't care that people see him as a threat. At least it seems, but it doesn't seem that he feels happy about it. You know, like there was another scene in which he was talking to a character, and he told her, like, I don't care that you thought like that about me. Like, you changing your mind doesn't change anything, because that's how people perceive me. And so I really want to understand his character more. He seems to be more past. A lot of times he felt very passive to me, but in some other scenes, like, he felt that he has some sort of agency going on for him, and I'm very curious. And I absolutely love his design. He looks gorgeous. I mean, some designs of the animals are top notch. Anyways, guys, this is my view on Beastars episode 1, and I don't know if I'm going to keep doing this weekly. Maybe like when the show is halfway through or it's over, I want to talk about like the whole philosophical thing and how I saw Beastars and how I perceived the things that happened in the show. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye bye.